Okay, so let's dive in. We keep hearing this same story, really, across state and local governments. The pressure, it's definitely on.
Yeah, permit backlogs stretching out, staffing is tough. It's a real challenge.
Right, and then there's this constant drumbeat about modernizing, using new tech like AI. It feels louder every day.
Absolutely. And if you're listening, maybe navigating these kinds of complexities in your own role, well, you're definitely in the right place today.
Yeah, we hope so. Because this deep dive, we're really zeroing in on one potential approach to these exact problems.
We're talking about Atlas, which is developed by Binaloop, and specifically their permit solution. It's designed really for state and local governments like yours.
And we know many of you are already exploring, how innovation, especially artificial intelligence, might boost efficiency.
Right, how it can help you better serve your communities. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. So our goal here today is really to unpack what Atlas and Binaloop are bringing to the table for permitting.
Think of it as maybe a fast track to understanding their value proposition. What could it actually mean for your agency?
And the insights we're sharing, they come from some pretty in-depth discussions around how Atlas was developed, the vision behind it.
So let's get into it. Atlas, at its core, it's an AI-powered productivity platform,
Mm.
but it's specifically built for government needs.
Okay. And its first focus.
Permitting workflows, those often, let's say, cumbersome processes.
Right. AI for government permits.
Okay, but let's get specific. What does that really look like day to day?
Well, what's interesting is the kind of intelligent automation it brings. Think about tasks that usually eat up so much time.
Like what, for instance?
Okay, so imagine AI that can instantly do regulatory research, digging through all those codes, ordinances, requirements, but with incredible speed and, importantly, accuracy.
That alone sounds huge. I've heard planners talk about spending hours, sometimes days, just tracking down the right rules for one permit. Precisely. And it doesn't stop there. It also automates drafting routine documents. Think about freeing up your planning staff from that kind of, well, often tedious work.
Okay, that makes sense.
And maybe most crucially, it can handle a lot of those common citizen inquiries, providing consistent, timely answers.
Can you give an example?
Sure, like say a resident asks about setback requirements for putting up a fence. Atlas could potentially pull up the relevant code section, maybe even common interpretations, almost instantly.
Wow, that kind of automation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that could really be a game changer.
it could. Our analysis suggests Atlas might save planners, quite a bit of time each week. Think about what reclaiming that time means.
Fewer backlogs, maybe? More time for actual planning.
Exactly. It leads to a more efficient process overall. Faster project approvals, that benefits the agency and the residents.
So, okay, this sounds promising, but where did this idea even come from? What was the spark for Binaloop and Atlas? What were they really trying to fix?
That's a really good question, and it goes to the heart of it. The founders, they saw these issues firsthand.
They worked in government.
They experienced the bottlenecks, the frustrations that honestly many government employees deal with every single day doing manual regulatory work. They saw really dedicated public servants spending so much time on tasks that weren't, directly serving the public.
I can imagine, like getting bogged down in paperwork instead of problem solving.
Exactly. There's actually a story, one of the founders, while working in city planning, spent, I think, an entire week just trying to reconcile conflicting rules for a solar panel project.
An entire week on one issue.
Yeah. And that kind of firsthand frustration, seeing skilled people just buried in tedious tasks,
Mhm.
that's really the core of where Binaloop came from.
That probably resonates with a lot of folks listening, that tension between the administrative load and wanting to make a direct impact.
It does. And the vision behind Binaloop was really to sort of rebalance that, to build something that could take on that manual regulatory stuff.
Freeing people up.
Empowering those professionals to use their skills, their energy, serving the public more directly.
And the team behind this, they're not exactly new to this world, are they? They understand government.
No, and that's absolutely critical here. The founders, they bring over 8 years of experience building and deploying AI solutions, specifically for government and other regulated industries.
So they know the landscape, compliance, procurement, all that.
They get it. They've navigated those hurdles themselves. They've been, in the trenches. They understand the specific operational headaches Atlas is trying to solve.
So they built what they wish they had.
That's pretty much how they put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Atlas is the solution they wished existed when they were inside the system.
Okay, so let's clarify. Who in state or local government is this really for? Who uses it day to day, and who's making the decision to bring it in?
Good question. The primary users, the ones who'd benefit daily, are city planners, the staff within permitting departments. They're the ones facing the backlogs, the pressure for faster turnarounds.
Makes sense. And the buyers.
The buyers are typically the agencies themselves, cities, counties. The leadership looking for strategic ways to boost efficiency, manage resources better, improve citizen satisfaction.
So they're tackling those big picture pain points we talked about.
Exactly. The backlogs, the staffing issues, that constant need for quicker service delivery. Atlas aims to help both the frontline staff and the agency leadership.
So it connects the dots, really. Makes life easier for planners, helps the agency hit its bigger goals.
Precisely. By addressing the daily grind and the strategic objectives, it offers quite a compelling value proposition.
All right, so we've got a good handle on what Atlas is, the problems it's trying to solve. Now, the big question for any IT department or agency leader, how does it fit with what they already have? Is this a massive overhaul, a rip and replace?
Yeah, that's always a crucial consideration, isn't it? And the answer here is pretty clearly no. It's not rip and replace.
Okay, that's important.
Atlas is specifically designed to integrate with existing legacy permitting systems. You know, the platforms you might already be using, like Acela, CityWorks, Clarity, those kinds of names.
So it works with them, it enhances them.
Exactly. Think of it like an intelligence layer sitting on top, working alongside those existing transactional databases.
That sounds much less disruptive. Agencies have invested a lot in those systems.
Right. And this lets them leverage those investments while still getting the benefits of AI automation for things like the regulatory research, the document drafting, handling citizen queries.
So you add the intelligence where it's most needed without throwing everything out. That's smart.
We think so. And, it directly addresses that pressure we mentioned earlier, accelerating projects, housing, infrastructure, energy. These things need to move faster.
But resources are often tight.
Exactly. So Atlas offers a way to get those efficiency gains, hopefully without needing huge new capital spending on entirely new core systems. The idea is for it to be a very affordable solution with a potentially high return on investment.
Which ties into that broader push, leveraging tech to just make government work better.
Absolutely. And it seems to be resonating. We're actively engaging with planners from various cities right now.
So getting feedback, validating the solution.
Yes, really validating our permit solutions with them, making sure Atlas isn't just a concept, but a practical tool that actually helps them on the ground.
That hands-on collaboration is key, isn't it?
It's crucial. It ensures Atlas really meets their needs and fits into how they actually work. That real-world validation is so important. Seeing it embraced by actual users, well, that speaks volumes.
Definitely. Okay, so if someone listening is in state or local government, maybe thinking about AI for their permitting, what's the main takeaway here, the core message about Atlas and Binaloop?
I think the central value is this. Atlas uses AI to automate some of the most time-consuming, often frustrating parts of permitting.
The research, the drafting, the common questions.
Exactly. And that automation translates directly into real-time savings for your planning staff.
Which leads to
faster approvals, reduced backlogs, and just a more efficient, more responsive permitting operation overall.
And critically, it does this by working with their current systems, not replacing them.
That's right. It's about strategically adding to what you have, rather than a massive disruptive change. Given the demands on agencies today, do more with the same, or even less solutions like Atlas offer a powerful way to get those efficiency gains.
And improve service delivery at the same time.
Ultimately, yes. Improving how you serve your communities.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Where is my team spending most of its time right now?
It does.
And what could we achieve if we freed up some of those hours for more strategic work, more direct citizen help?
That's the fundamental question, isn't it? How much of your team's potential is tied up in manual regulatory tasks? And what could happen if you reclaimed that capacity? What could you reinvest it in?
That's definitely a powerful thought to consider. It points towards a future where AI isn't just some, far-off idea for government.
Right. It becomes a practical core tool.
Enabling faster, more efficient, maybe just fundamentally more responsive public service. It makes you wonder how embracing these innovations could really reshape how we serve our communities.